Hi guys, welcome back to SIC's YouTube channel. Today we are back again with interviewing students from abroad, and today we have Meghna from RMIT University, Australia, who is here to share her experiences. So Meghna, why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Thank you, Gauri, for the opportunity. I'm Meghna Karande. I am studying at RMIT University. I'm in my final semester of Masters of Engineering Management, so I will graduate around November this year. I came to Australia around a year back, more than a year, maybe February 2020, just before the lockdown. So yeah, I would say it was good timing on my part. And since then, a lot of things have happened and some good news to share, but I'm sure once we get this conversation rolling, everything will come out. So yeah, thank you.
Okay, Meghna. So it's very nice to have you here. So let's jump to the interview part. And the first question would be, when did you actually realize that you have to take studying abroad seriously?
Studying abroad has been in my mind since I was in my engineering. I have a bachelor's in mechanical engineering and I'm a 2018 graduate. So around, let's say, second year of my bachelor's, someone senior to me, they are my mom's friend, and they suggested this idea of going abroad. Before that, I never even considered it. It's like, we are a middle class family. Why would you want to go anywhere else? But they planted this idea in me, and I started taking it seriously, slowly. Then I started seeing which countries could be good, and obviously USA is like always the top country for anyone. I also gave all the GRE class. I did GRE classes, this and that. A lot of things happened, but around that time that I actually was capable enough to go, that is, I had all the funds and everything, USA wasn't an option anymore. Other than the fact that their political system was changed, there was just a lot of difficulties going there. And if you want to spend so much money in a country, you obviously expect to maybe stay there later. And I didn't see it happening in USA. I also thought of Germany, and Germany was way too technical. I mean, it's very great for mechanical engineers, but I wanted a little bit of project management for myself. I don't think Germany would provide me that opportunity. And again, the language barrier was another thing. And then third was Canada and Australia. Canada is just way too cold, so I'm like, Australia is perfect. It's like the cleanest. It doesn't have any bad background as such, and it's fine, good for students. It pays well. Yeah, all the good stuff. Yeah, that's why I thought I'll go here. And I have, like, after graduating from bachelor's, I did 1 year. I worked in a company, and by the time I collected enough funds, and I was like confident. Okay, now if I go, I wouldn't have any trouble with the next process. So I was like, fine, let's do this. And I'm here despite the.
Okay, cool. So before we jump to the next question, I mean, what's your majors, Meghna? I mean, what are you studying exactly?
Okay, so my course is very broad, you can say. So Masters of Engineering Management allows any engineering background student. So it could be an electrical engineer, mechanical, computer, and they come in this course and learn the management side or the business side of everything. So just being technically good is not enough. You also need to know how to run a business, how to manage people, how to, present your whatever you have to others, and how to do risk mitigation and all these things, which we are not really taught during bachelor's. We know what, like, maths, every other subject, but you do not know how to actually go in the world and present yourself, which is very important. And I think that's what my course is all about. I would say it's comparatively easy to any technical course, but it's very great for anyone looking to go into project management.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, we've heard about courses where they teach you about the subject, but this is very different, where they actually teach you how to present yourself, and this is very different. I mean, what is the course called actually?
It's Master of Engineering Management. So you are like usually the people who do this course, they go consulting, they become project managers in various industries, you now manufacturing industry or fashion industry, whatever. These are the skills you always need. So
Okay.
it's like a welcoming call.
Nice, nice. So what steps did you exactly take? How did you start your research work about studying?
Like any other person, I went to education consultancies to first know what's happening with there. Unfortunately, I regret that I couldn't reach out to you guys, but I did attend some of your webinars that you used to do online, which were really helpful. It was, I think I attended mostly for Australia and Canada during my research period, which was in 2019, like the second half of 2019.
Okay.
First of all, you have to take one country. In the end, you cannot just apply everywhere. It's just too much stress and too much uncertainty. So finally, like seeing my budget, my funds, and what kind of opportunities I would have in both of those countries, Canada and Australia, I decided Australia because it has more, like the labor cost. Labor is very highly regarded in Australia. So I knew that no matter what work I do, I'll be protected here. They also pay more than, like, the average salary of anyone in Australia is more than that compared to Canada. That was another thing. Also my university. So I had to see my course in Masters of Engineering Management, where it is ranking in all of the universities all over the world. And almost top 5 universities, they were in Australia. So I think before RMIT, there was University of Melbourne, and it was a little bit way too expensive for me, not a little bit, way too expensive for me. So I settled on the second best, which is not the case because RMIT is also really, really great. Like the number of opportunities you get just by just going to campus and talking to professors is insane. You cannot deny the fact that these people know how to network. They have connections everywhere, all over the world.
How many universities did you apply in Australia, and how did you end up in RMIT?
I think I applied to 5 universities, as long as I remember. It was most likely University of Melbourne, RMIT University, Deakin, University of Wollongong, and one other which I cannot remember. And I got accepted in all of them because one very great thing about Australian universities is their process of admission is very, very simple. Unlike Germany and USA, it's like you give your credentials, that is what marks you have and what's your background, what you've studied. So you give them all your degree certificates and everything. You maybe have to write an SOP stating why you want that university, that particular university, and why that course, or in general, why Australia. It's similar to, a little bit similar to the visa process, which we'll again talk later. But yeah, the process is pretty simple for Australian universities. That's all you have to do. Just give your passport, your I mean, they want to know what your age is and what marks you have been getting earlier and why you're interested in that course and that university. That's it. And they'll accept you happily. The fun part come later, obviously, but yeah, I think because it was so easy to get into these universities, I preferred Australia over other countries more.
Okay. So you're saying that the acceptance rate in Australia is much higher than the other countries?
It is. I would, like, after coming here, I have realized almost 60 to 70% of Australia's economy is run by universities or basically international students. That is why they also make sure that we are happy here. Like it is, they have a huge responsibility to make sure that if we are coming here, we are given everything that we want, which is a great thing to be here in this country at this point.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay. So what steps did you exactly take? How did you start your research work about studying?
Like any other person, I went to education consultancies to first know what's happening with there. Unfortunately, I regret that I couldn't reach out to you guys, but I did attend some of your webinars that you used to do online, which were really helpful. It was, I think I attended mostly for Australia and Canada during my research period, which was in 2019, like the second half of 2019.
Okay.
First of all, you have to take one country. In the end, you cannot just apply everywhere. It's just too much stress and too much uncertainty. So finally, like seeing my budget, my funds, and what kind of opportunities I would have in both of those countries, Canada and Australia, I decided Australia because it has more, like the labor cost. Labor is very highly regarded in Australia. So I knew that no matter what work I do, I'll be protected here. They also pay more than, like, the average salary of anyone in Australia is more than that compared to Canada. That was another thing. Also my university. So I had to see my course in Masters of Engineering Management, where it is ranking in all of the universities all over the world. And almost top 5 universities, they were in Australia. So I think before RMIT, there was University of Melbourne, and it was a little bit way too expensive for me, not a little bit, way too expensive for me. So I settled on the second best, which is not the case because RMIT is also really, really great. Like the number of opportunities you get just by just going to campus and talking to professors is insane. You cannot deny the fact that these people know how to network. They have connections everywhere, all over the world.
So, did you apply for any scholarships by checking out universities?
Applying for scholarships in Australian universities is very easy. All you have to do, like during the application itself, for example, you are doing your application through SIEC, they'll make sure that they ask for, like, request that you get a scholarship with that Australian university, and the university will just check your marks. They have a certain amount of GPA they want you to have, and if you fit into that bill, you will be granted a scholarship. I think I have like 20% scholarship both of my years. Like my course is 2 years, so I've had 20% for both of the years, which is great.
Yeah,
I think that's it. It's not a very big deal. And if you are some, let's say, extraordinarily smart, you might be capable of getting more scholarships from them as well. It's always good to research.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
And does Australia have this concept of research and assistantships and teaching assistantships like US has this?
I would say it's a 50-50 answer, I would say, because by living here, since I've been here for a year, right? I've been in contact with professors and all, and they don't usually require any research help or whatever, because my course is master's, and we are not involved in research as such. But I'm sure if it is for PhD, there will be these opportunities more. And talking about teaching assistantships, again, it comes to the same, like it depends on person to person. If that professor does need it and you are in good relations, please go that. But there's usually nothing advertised as such that, someone is looking for teaching assistantship or something like that. It's not usually the case.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. And what was your IELTS score, if you don't mind, and how did you prepare for it? Like, did you go to classes, and how was your preparation with regards to IELTS?
Okay, my overall IELTS score was 7.5, and I think the highest I got was in listening, which was 8.5, and somewhere, where did I go wrong? Probably in writing, I guess. I didn't score much in writing. The process, because I am from, for my whole life, I studied in an English school. I wasn't really worried about this, so I did not join any classes. There's usually, I even forgot the company's name, but there's just 2 centers that IELTS is taken in. So you can choose any center, and once you pay them, they will give you material to study on. that's all I referred, and I believe I prepared for 2 weeks maybe. I did that and some YouTube videos. That was really enough. It's really not that hard, because if you have like done bachelor's, you have maybe you're studying for GRE and all that, this will be a piece of cake.
Yeah, like
it's not
16 years of education on an English medium school, obviously you should do some help to your eyes, right?
Yeah. And maybe here I would like to stress that maybe you should start reading, because it just changes your life, not only for exams, but just in general, your awareness increases tenfold.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how was the visa process then? How did you get through the interview?
Yeah, I did.
So how was the process then?
Funny, Australia visa applying for Australian visa is a funny process, because sometimes people get their visas in like 2 seconds, and sometimes they'll get it after a month. I'm not sure if that's the case with all countries, but at least that's what I've seen during the Australian journey. For me, it was a little bit difficult, the visa process, because I had some issues with my documentation for my education loan that I had carried, which is why the visa process became a little bit difficult. So I had to sort out everything that was related to my education loan. But once I was clear there, obviously I cannot talk about everyone. Sometimes it's just too easy for everyone to get a loan. It wasn't for me. Once that part is clear, the visa process will not be hard at all for Australia. All you have to do is just give all of the documentation required, bank statements and all that. You have to show funds, like maybe 10 lakhs or something. During my time, it was 10 lakhs of amount you have to show that, okay, so if you come to Australia, you can at least, you are capable of utilizing this amount and staying there without having a job or anyone sponsoring you. And that way. And again, the most that they require is an SOP. So for the visa officer, all you have to write is why you're going to that country, that particular state, that particular city, that particular university, that particular course. So it's like you just make a tree diagram or a flow chart in your mind and just write it down in words in that SOP. Simple as that. And just submit it. And if you're lucky, you'll get it in 2 seconds, that visa.
Okay. So did you get your visa in 2 minutes?
I got it in 5 minutes actually, but yeah.
Okay.
It was me and my friend. I got it in 5 minutes. She got it in 15 days. So, and we did it at the same time, like at the same time.
Okay. Funny. So, Meghna, right now, Australia is a very hot topic for international students since the borders are closed. So, how are you guys treated over there? Like, is the government, university taking care of you? Like, what measures are you guys taking? And how are the international students? What are challenges are you guys facing due to the lockdown? I mean, how is it going?
Okay. If I can start from the beginning, when I landed in Australia. So after I landed, around in 2 weeks, the lockdown started. Like literally, I just attended, I think, one or two lectures in my university, and that's it. We were home for the next, I don't know, maybe 10 months. I can't even keep track of it because we were always at home. So definitely this was a very hard decision, hard thing to swallow, that we have come here to go and meet people, study, make money, and what is this? How will we do anything if we're just sitting at home? Because multiple people lost their jobs and whatnot, not just international students. But the good thing again about Australia is its government is very friendly, not just to their own population, but also to us. No matter what many people say about the government, like from my experience, it has been great to us. So we were given rent relief options. So what that means is, if you're living in a certain apartment and you have a landlord, so you can request the government like if you have lost a job due to COVID or you cannot earn due to COVID, you will be eligible for that rent relief. So, and once you apply, usually within 2 or 3 weeks, if you get the acceptance, and within a week uh, you get that acceptance. And what happens after that is the government gives that money to the landlord. So that landlord is not going to ask you for the money of whatever that amount is. So I was living rent free for maybe 7 or 8 months. I did not have to pay a rent, which was
Very
a huge
nice.
relief.
Yeah.
And yeah, and if anyone has researched anything about Melbourne, they know that it's an expensive place to stay, especially the city side. So it was a huge relief. Other than that, there are many organizations actually who always help you. Even if they help you with groceries, that's a huge help. Like that's a lot, because people spend a lot on groceries as well.
Yeah.
But if someone is helping you with that much, you are easily saving like $100 or $150 every month, which is great. Like, other than that, coming to my university, obviously university does their best to support their students. So again, they used to also give away freebies all the time. We actually still get them. So let me tell you about that, because it's a really great initiative by them, I think so. So it's every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So there's like a time slot, 2 or 3 hours. In that, we can go to something called a food bank, which is right next to our university, and you can take the free food. Food in the sense that every day you'll get the bread, you get the milk, you get so many veggies, pasta, and whatnot, which is usually an olive oil. You know how expensive olive oil is? You get it for free there. Just use
Yeah,
that.
true. I mean, this is a very great initiative by the university, right? I mean, half of your money is saved over here. Like, you don't have to go to the groceries at all. Yeah.
Exactly. Your supermarkets do provide cheaper options, but it's still free.
But still, free is free.
You don't have to spend. That's true.
Yeah.
There's more actually. Let's not ignore that COVID is still happening. So what the government is doing for COVID is they want you to always be safe and test yourself. And what happens is, once you test, you have to isolate until and unless you get the result negative. So until someone tells you get a notification that okay, you have been tested negative, you cannot go to your work or anything. It's a rule here. So like if you test today, you will likely get the result tomorrow. So you cannot go for 2 days to your work. So to compensate that and to encourage everyone to test more, the government gives away a certain amount of money every time you go for a test, and you apply for that amount. That okay, I'm going to this test, but I'm not getting paid because I have to isolate. So what can you do? So that's what government solution is. So they pay you for that many days. It's actually around a week's worth of pay, to be honest. Like $450 they pay you when you get tested.
That's a big money, $450. Yeah.
Yeah, so everywhere you see there's some or the other people helping you. The landlords as well, they reduce their rents for us because they obviously know we've been losing our jobs and all that. So everyone has been very helpful, and yeah, I'm really glad that I'm here at this point of time, because I know what's happening all over the world. Though I feel that I could be of more help there, but still, this is the reality. I'm here, and I'm just glad for it.
True, very true. So, I mean, this is like, I'm totally speechless, like how the university and government is helping the students actually. Very few of them have come forward where they can offer freebies to the students or the international ones in the places. But then this is really a great thing to do. I mean, it can actually save some dollars also. And everyone is already depressed that they are at home after spending so much money. I mean, this is a very good initiative by the university, I should say. Yeah.
I would like to add more to that. Like you said, everyone is not very happy with how things are going and they're at home. So universities also offer free mental health services, okay, which is a very huge thing here. So if you go
Nice.
to one counselor in India, I don't know how many, you'll spend thousands probably. But
Mm-hmm.
here, as a student, you also get to access this world-class services for free. Other than that, some of the universities have also been reducing their fees for international students. Not mine, unfortunately, yet, but many of them have, which I think is great, seeing that so many students are unable to come here and
Very
they're still
nice.
enrolled and they're just doing everything online. So it's
Very
a great
nice. Very
initiative.
nice. Yeah, true. Very nice.
Mm.
Okay. And how are you coping up with the lockdown? Like, what things are you doing apart from studying? I mean, I'm sure that you won't be studying 24 hours in a day.
No, no, I think I just study before my assignments are due. That shouldn't be the case.
Mhm.
It's just no, no. I do study, but like I said, my course is very broad and it is something pretty simple, like compared to some technical courses.
Mhm.
But it's fun to do, so I do put my my amount of effort in that every time. We have assignments, like 3 to 4 assignments every semester to do,
Mhm.
and you usually take 4 courses a semester. So
Mhm.
this semester, let me tell you a story. So this semester, what happened? Like, I've known SIC for almost a year now, I think. So this semester through SIC, I got an internship around March, at
Mhm.
the beginning of March. Okay, so I started that internship, and also I was also doing a part-time job, because who is going to pay my rent is not me. So I have to do that.
Mhm.
Uh, that and university, which was a little hectic, to be honest. Like, everything at
Mhm.
once, and I also moved
Mhm.
out to a new house this semester. But good news is that just last week I completed my internship and I've been hired there as an official employee. So
Congratulations. Congratulations.
thank you. Thank you to
Okay.
SIEC, actually. Like, I
Mhm.
wouldn't have even imagined of going to that company, because you know us as international students, we really start from the bottom. Like,
Yeah, you
we
have
are
to
just
start
totally new
from
and
scratch.
we,
Yeah. Uh-huh.
yeah, you don't know a single person and you do all jobs here and there. But something like this kind of opportunity came my way. So I'll always be grateful for that to SIC, because the work I'm doing is amazing. I love it. I love it. I wake up and I'm excited to go there. That's what I've been looking for years.
Mhm.
I've done jobs before and never felt that way. So thank
Okay.
you.
Okay. Okay. And one more question about COVID and Australia together. Like,
Definitely.
when you, yeah, when you get infected by COVID, suppose say you're positive, what is the process over there? Like, is it same as in India, 14 days of quarantine, then you get retested again? Is it the same?
Uh, Again, it will depend on your symptoms, how severe they are.
Mm-hmm.
So let me start right from the testing stage. So you
Mm-hmm.
get tested for COVID, and let's say you've you've been not working now, like you have lost your job because of that, or you couldn't go for that entire 2 weeks to your job. Again, the government is there to help. They they provide more financial support if you are tested positive. Okay. Other than that, if you need to get hospitalized, you already have your health insurance support. Um, as far as I remember, when the cases were a lot in Melbourne month, last year, around maybe August or September, they were giving free hospital services. Like, you could get hospitalized for free for COVID, and they would like make treat you and then leave you. That was the case. I do not think that is anymore, because the cases have reduced significantly, but that was a very good initiative by the government at that time when it was the most necessary.
Mm-hmm.
And like you mentioned, 14 days quarantine, yes, definitely. So even if you're coming, let's say, from the neighboring state, from maybe Queensland or New South Wales, you have to make that 2 weeks of quarantine in a designated quarantine hotel, and then come back to wherever you are staying in the country. So the norms are very strict around here, and I think that is why this country has been able to significantly stay like low on the radar of this COVID-19 virus, I believe. And people here, they do wear masks. Like when there were 0 cases for almost 4 or 5 months, we still wore masks in public places or in public transport. So you have to follow it. Yeah. And you have to take initiative as well. So like sometimes they were also fine with not wearing it, but we still did that because we are so used to
wearing
what we have
masks
been
now.
learning. Yeah, we have learned for the last year how to take care of ourselves. So just doing that.
So true. Yeah, like wearing mask is like now a regular part for daily routine now. Wherever you go. Yeah. True. And
at least have 2 masks in your bag every day.
Always. Masks and sanitizers are like a very important part of my handbag now.
True.
So are you guys in a lockdown phase now? I mean, are you able to go out, or do you have the curfew timings like after 10 you're not allowed to go out, something like that?
Okay. So for the last year, I've been in and out of lockdowns a lot. Yes. So unfortunately, now is a lockdown time. So we went into lockdown like 1.5 weeks ago because cases were increasing. But there's no curfew for now. There was a curfew last year when the cases were just way too much. But now it's nothing like that. It's just everything is closed. So hotels and everything, you cannot go and dine there. It's just takeaways are available. And you can just go out for exercising or maybe getting groceries or caring for someone and like that. So the government usually gives you strict things that you're allowed or not allowed to do.
Limited things are
and we are
possible.
following it. It's not that hard. Yeah, it could be hard. Like for example, 2 of my friends have lost their jobs because they were working in hotels. So they are not working for not lost their job. It's like it's on a pause. So they just can't go. Hotels are closed. Sometimes the lockdowns are super hard for people, and sometimes, let's say, for someone like me who is working from home and has something on the laptop to do, it can be significantly better, which again I'm grateful for. But you have to understand it's not the same for everyone. Lockdown is hard, regardless of where you are.
I know. Sometimes it's very depressing as well. Yeah. Okay. So and yeah,
that's why you have to keep calling your loved ones.
Very true. So Meghna, you said your course is of 2 years, and when I compare this with UK, I mean mostly all the master courses, they are of only 1 year. So did you also check out UK before opting for Australia?
I did, actually. I think I did not mention that, but I did. Problem with UK was how much time they were allowing me to stay in the country after my course. So usually, I think when I was researching, it was 1 year, around just 1 year or 1.5 years, which for me personally, it wasn't enough. I wasn't confident that I'd get a great job or whatever there in just those 2 years, because I do take time to settle in and get to know people. So I needed more time, which Australia gave me more. Like you can study for 2 years, you can stay back for 2 years, like on the temporary residency visa. So I thought, okay, 4 years sounds a bit better, so that I can at least get to know the culture and what's happening and make my mark. That's what happened, right? Like I said, I got the internship, now I've got the job. So it did take time. It did not happen in a month. It took a year to happen. It does. I wouldn't have preferred UK for me personally.
Okay. And when it comes to internship, like how did you know that? I mean, how did you come to SIEC, and how did that happen? Like, did they advertise something that they are holding up something for internships, and how did it go through?
Okay, so this was one of the best experiences for me here, because that's where my life actually started changing once in Australia. SIEC, I already knew about them back in India because you're very well known, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that you used to conduct webinars and virtual fairs. That's what it's called, right? Virtual
Mm-hmm.
fairs and everything. And like I told you, I've attended a few online ones as well before. So I was
Mm-hmm.
very well aware with them, and they were. I was searching for something like for internships and something like that, and I came across advertisement from
Mm-hmm.
SIEC. And
Mm-hmm.
luckily for me, SIEC is like literally 5 minutes. The main office of SIEC is 5 minutes from my house. Obviously,
Oh.
I went
Mm-hmm.
and met them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. During that time, when I actually met them a year ago, it wasn't in the office because all offices were closed. But now
Mm-hmm.
I do sometimes. Um, but yeah, obviously I called, had a chat with actually Sonia. Sonia was the first person who I talked to. I got to know about internships through her. And what SIC was offering me was don't just directly go to an internship, which we tell you to. They told me that you'll first go to an information session. You'll know what will happen there, and you decide based on that if you want to go or not. Which I think is perfect because no one just wants to dive into something they've never encountered before. And I
True.
didn't know that someone offers internships like that, to be honest. I thought
Mm-hmm.
you always have to apply. There's no way around it. But here I'm knowing that, okay, so someone is helping me get an internship. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
So I attended that webinar, absolutely loved it because what was told in that webinar could be considered common sense at times, but people still need to hear that because we don't realize it ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like why internships are so important. The most important thing that I got out from that was here you are a stranger to this country. You do not know anything. And in Australia, how it works is the once you are what do we say good in your field. If you are staying in Melbourne, someone in Sydney will know that you're great. Why? Because that's how the network works here. Everything
Okay.
is referenced. So someone
Okay.
will refer you and then you will get that opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, half of the jobs are not advertised. This is
Mm-hmm.
where you get the job. You know someone, you get the job.
Mm-hmm.
SIC was offering me something like that they were giving me an opportunity to actually go into a workplace,
Mm-hmm.
work there, and also get to know the people around me, which was the most important thing because
Mm-hmm.
those people know 100 other people. So I made networks there, and this obviously loved the work. That was another great thing, and also the networking part helped because um, now that I knew so many people, they pitched in for me to join that company after I'm done with the internship. So they were happy
Mm-hmm.
with how I was working, and they
Mm-hmm.
themselves like took the initiative to let me stay there, and now I have it.
Mm-hmm.
So I do not think I could have done it myself. Very, very, very honest, because I was applying like crazy to all internships, all jobs,
Mm-hmm.
whatever I could find, and no luck.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not just me; it's a lot of my classmates. And now that I have like achieved something like this, I've got a job. I'm sure more of them will be coming back to me and saying that, okay, how did you get that? I'm going to tell them
Mm-hmm.
this. It's going to benefit a lot of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Nice. Okay. So, what was the most challenging thing that you faced when you landed in Australia? I know I have the answer to this question because you told that as soon as you landed, 2 weeks later you got the lockdown thing. But then since
Lockdown.
you are completely a new person to Australia, like it's completely a new country, new people, new faces, and of course new challenges. So, what all challenges did you face when you landed in a new country?
Uh, it's a long list. Do you want me to say everything?
Yeah, we would love to take more information from you, no problem. We have all the time.
um, so the thing about challenges is it's not just related only to your studies or anything particular. It's your whole life you are living here. So obviously, in every part of your life, there will be something or the other you cannot solve.
Mm,
So first problem, like you mentioned, yes, lockdown cannot help it. The whole world was in lockdown. Okay, what can
mm,
we do next?
mm,
Major issue was getting an apartment.
mm-hmm,
People underestimate so much. so much. Like living in a house where you do not feel like you would rather jump from a building and then live in this house is very important. Because it's very stressful once you move somewhere, you are taking all of your belongings there, and then you discover that this, so many of the things are not working in that house. Then you contact the landlord and you do not get a good response sometimes. It becomes very stressful. So one, let's just take it as an advice for anyone watching or planning to come to Australia later, is whenever you look for a house, make sure that when you inspect it, which is a great thing, we get to inspect the house before moving in, you see that everything works properly, everything is how you want in your dream house, whatever, and you can afford the rent, and only then choose it. Otherwise it will just be a nightmare after you move in. You have to also analyze how your landlord would be, and you can know that by just talking to your whoever the agent is. There are like house agents here. I guess that's one point done. Other thing, again, jobs, getting jobs is very difficult here. I mean, I think it was maybe more due to lockdown than anything else that we had a difficult time doing this. So I've done everything from working in an aged care, cleaning rooms and whatnot. I've done everything, but I do not regret it. I don't know. First of all, I think it has made me humble, and it has made me work for my own money. And also, it made me really good friends. Actually, I'm still in contact with them. They were really good old people who loved me there. So it was a good experience overall. Finding that can be very hard. So make sure, like anyone coming here, make sure if start applying to jobs soon if you want to be a little bit financially stable. Like start making connections, start doing something to get that job, because just sitting every day, it's not going to take you anywhere. You at least you should know someone here, or you should be capable enough to like put that work in and find that job and get that interview done, everything. So always focus on the job. Sometimes, of course, if you are well enough, you already have those funds in, that's fine. But it's great if you can, earn your own money to learn the value of it more. You'll be more careful with it in the future. Another, I would say it's a warning that even though Australia is such a great country, there is potentially harmful people here. Harmful in the sense, people who might dupe you, who might, put you in trouble. So I have had encounters where, like someone told me they would offer me a job and everything was legit. There was a website, everything. There was a job on SIEC, but after that, I came to know it did not even exist, and like they ran away with some of my documents, which weren't original, by the way. But yeah, these also happen. So you just cannot just jump into anyone who says, let me give you a job. That's not how it works. You have to do your prior research, talk, and never, ever, ever give your original documents to anyone for anything. They will stay with you. You print that out. Whatever you need to do, it will be done by you. You do not give it to anyone else. Remember that when you come to Australia.
Not only in Australia, I think you have to be careful in any country when it comes regarding your documents, right? You have no need to share, you do not need to share your original documents with anyone when it is not actually necessary, right?
Yeah. So that was a mistake on my part, and I got a good lesson.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm definitely not doing this ever.
You have to be careful when you are living in a country that is like 1,000 miles apart from your home country. So good.
Correct.
This is also an experience, right? No one learns it naturally, and you have to face something or the other to learn.
Yeah, you become street smart by living in a country where you never lived before, automatically. So I was very pampered my whole life, and now I know what actual world looks like. So it's an awakening, but it's a good thing, I think. That helped me grow.
So when you were in India, were you in hostel or you lived with your family only?
No, my whole life I've been with my family. What, 22
Okay.
years?
Okay.
I never even went out of my, what do I say? Never even had a night out with my friends. It was
Oh.
that possessive family.
Mhm.
And the moment they send me off to another country, which I'm glad that they did, like they allowed me to. Yeah,
This should have
support
been the
your parents.
best.
I think have to
Yeah,
be
this should
grateful.
correct. This should have been the best decision of your life, I think. I mean, living independently, managing your finances, managing your studies, managing yourself. This is a great thing to do. Yeah.
100%, 100%. I do not regret one bit of it. I know I have like tons of debt on my head now because I've spent money to come here, but I know I'm going to get through it.
Yeah.
Everything is going, and it's not without problems, but I'm learning so much. I'm becoming so smart,
Mhm.
personally for me, and just
Yeah.
the way, like, just yeah, just the other day, like I purchased a bed and I assembled it myself. Like, who would have thought I would be doing that? Not me. I would never
Mhm.
think like buying a bed from somewhere myself, bringing it,
Mhm.
assembling it, and sleeping on that. No, but it's happening.
Yeah,
I'm
it
learning so much.
transforms you into a completely new person that we ourselves wouldn't have imagined that, okay, we are this independent, you know. True.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm just planning to travel once lockdown ends and there's some ease on the restrictions. I would love to travel all over Australia, and I'm sure there's more that every state has to offer, which I would like to see.
Nice, nice. All the best. I really hope Australia
Thank
opens
you.
soon. And Meghna, how was your first day in college? Did you attend the classes for the first day orientation and all, or did you go through the lockdown?
Oh, we did attend the orientation. So for those 2 weeks that I was here, it wasn't too bad. That did not require a lockdown at least. So orientation days are nothing but literally the whole university. You are going to get to know the whole university. So we have welcome days. So on welcome days, all around the university, there will be stalls, there will be food, music, there will be the student union that will try to sell you things, and you can happily do that. Um, like just in general, getting to know. So there's also like designated people who show you around the university. And
Mhm.
in universities in Australia are huge. It's just
Mhm.
impossible to like you will see one building and you'll walk 10 minutes later and you'll see another building and you cannot even connect that. Okay, that's same like university, so you have to navigate through that as well. They give you goodies like RMIT goodies on the first days because you're newbies and all, which is great. And you also get a program manager. So program manager is like, let's say I'm doing my master's of engineering management. So one professor will be designated to that course who represents that course. So any problems you have, you go to that professor.
Okay.
Anything related to your course, you have a chance to go and go to that program manager and she'll help you to solve it. So on the
Okay.
first day, she also talks to you, gets to know you and all that. So in general, it's a very great environment to be in. I
Mhm.
wish I would have experienced more of that if not for the lockdown. So, yeah.
Nice, nice. So, coming to the last question, what do you suggest or would you advise the current students now who are planning to come to Australia? How seriously should be taking studying abroad if they are really planning to go to not only Australia or to a different country? I mean, how serious should they
Hmm.
be about this? Should they be like the toppers only, or even the average student can start applying? Or what do you advise?
Uh, I don't think academics matter a lot, Gauri, because, for example, I'm sure SIEC themselves must have placed so many students who had passed in their academic career and still went to good universities. So it's always great to go to someone for guidance. For example, like SIC, they have experts who suggest you the right way or the right country for what you're looking for. That would be the first and very important step, I would say, because that will lay your foundation for whatever you are going to do later. Good advice, you need good advice. And if you go on bad advice, that will just not turn out well in the future. Other than that, be prepared. Like, do not assume that some what can have passed every time. How hard could living in another country be and getting a job be? Like, just get to know what's really happening out there in the world. Reach out to people who you want to be in their place. For example, if you are planning to come to my university, RMIT, and you're planning to come to my course, reach out to me on LinkedIn or any other social media app. You can find me questions that me what's the ground reality in Australia, what's happening, and I'll tell you, because I want to help. Every student wants to help other students, and that way you will get the actual thing that's happening. Just don't go on I don't know, just Google searches and all that. It will not help. Talk to real people, know what's happening, and then
Networking
decide.
is important, correct?
It is. So for example, if you already talk to me now and maybe you come here after a year and I remember you, I'm going to help you with whatever problem that you're having. So that's how you create relationships. You have to focus on that.
Correct,
Before
correct.
going to that country, you already have to be half in the country there. Like, at least 10 people should know you before you go there. That should be your aim, and then go there. It will make a huge difference.
Correct.
Right?
Very true, very true.
That would be my advice. Yeah, that would be my advice. Do not worry at all. Take that leap. I'm very happy that if you're coming abroad, congratulations, you've taken a great initiative to do something. And just make sure that you do not come unprepared either. Just be ready for anything. That's it.
Thank you. Okay, guys. So I think it was very nice talking to you, Meghna. I mean, I think I've collected enough information from you, and which I'm going to give it to my students as well. So it was really nice talking to you, and we really hope that you reach great heights.
Thank you, Gauri. And just lastly, I would like to say, if anyone is definitely looking to come to Australia, please get in touch with me. Maybe ask Gauri or whoever it is to get in touch. I'll try to help you as much as I can.
Definitely.
Because I know how hard it is, and I wouldn't want that to happen to you. Thank you for this opportunity again. It was great talking to you and just getting it out of my chest, I guess.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Meghna. It was nice talking to you.